The first subsection of the test that you'll be required to do is the listening test. It takes approximately 30 minutes. There are 4 sections to the listening module. In the first 2 sections, there is a conversation between 2 speakers and a monologue. The final 2 sections are related to more educational contexts. The following are the most commonly used question types: multiple choice, short answer questions, sentence completion, diagram completion, labelling a diagram, classification, and matching. The following are some important tips for listening. Number 1, the dialogue is heard only once, but time is given to A, check answers, and B, read ahead. It's very important to try to read ahead so that you have some idea what you'll be listening for before you actually hear the dialogue. When reading ahead, it's a good idea to highlight important key words. Use a highlight pen to do this, to make the keywords stand out. Doing this will help you to locate the important information. Number 2, when the time for reading ahead terminates, stop reading immediately and begin to listen from the very first words spoken. Don't worry if you haven't pre-read everything. By the end of the section, your ear will be more tuned in. It's very important, however, that you don't get lost at the beginning, as this may mean that you're not able to do any of that particular exercise. Number 3, you'll be given time at the end of certain sections to check your answers. It may be helpful to use this time to read ahead. This will give you more time to prepare yourself for the next section. Checking answers should be restricted to adjusting spelling or making an answer clear and legible. In most cases, it would be unwise to change your answers. So unless you're absolutely sure that you've got something wrong, leave it. Number 4, when answering questions, use abbreviations to give yourself time to focus on the task of listening. Write out the abbreviation in full only at the very end of the test, when you transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Don't waste precious time during the test. Number 5, when listening, try to listen for 2 answers at a time. In other words, don't only listen to obtain information to fill in one question. Rather, listen in order to listen to 2 questions. This will help you not to get lost. Getting lost is one of the biggest problems facing students doing the listening section. If you're still listening for information to answer question 1, and the speaker has moved on to question 2 or 3 without your realising it, then you're lost and panic sets in. So remember to listen for 2 answers at a time, then if you miss the first one, you'll have time to get the second. Number 6, you're usually required to listen to information to fill in a form. If a person's name is spelt out, such as Stuart Gray, that is Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, Gray, G-R-A-Y, then you must get the spelling correct. Be careful of numbers and letters that sound similar, such as A, H, and 8, or letters that sound similar, such as C and G. Also listen carefully for the difference between W on the one hand and double O or double E on the other. Finally, listen carefully for the difference between 80 and 18, or 30 and 13, etc. Number 7. Remember, there's a big difference between listening, say, to the news and listening for information in the Ielts. In the case of the news, you're listening for global or general information. However, in the Ielts, you will be listening for specific information, and you have to develop the skill of reading and listening at the same time. Number 8. The final point to remember is that you must transfer all your answers to the answer sheet. If your answers are not on the answer sheet, you won't receive any marks for them.